G'day and welcome to another episode of Kiwi Car Life. And for the last year or so I've owned this BMW 130i. It's got a petrol powered 3-litre straight six, a manual transmission. It's just an absolute blast to drive. Having never owned even a turbo car, let alone a diesel powered car, I am quite content with the petrol powered straight six that it has. But my friend Jack has just bought this BMW 123D and he absolutely loves diesels. The torque, the power delivery, the tunability of them he thinks is just the bee's knees, and he has challenged me to pitch the most powerful petrol E87 hatchback versus the most powerful diesel E87 hatchback. Let's see which one's better. Exterior styling is basically identical on the two cars, with this one being New Zealand new and my one being a Japanese import. There are some interesting spec differences, like this one has headlight washers, it also has parking sensors. He's put some 19-inch BMW M car replicas, whereas my one has 18-inch 135i wheels, so the fitment on his one is a little bit better. The 123D is powered by an N47 D20. It's a 2-litre twin turbocharged 4-cylinder diesel engine making 150 kilowatt and a whopping 400 newton meters of torque. However, he's put an intake on it and a tune, along with a few other modifications like that straight pipe exhaust, which pushes the power up quite significantly, and he seems pretty confident that it'll be able to beat me in a rolling race. However, I'm not sure why he's so confident, because my petrol powered 130i has an N52 B30. It's a litre of displacement larger, and it makes 195 kilowatt or 265 horsepower and 315 newton meters of torque. So it might be a little down on torque, but it revs to 7 rather than 5, and it makes significantly more power, which in my mind is what wins races. So we'll just have to see later on if I'm right. Both of these cars were available with either a 6-speed auto or a 6-speed manual, and both of them send power to the rear wheels, but mine happens to have the manual gearbox and this one happens to have the 6-speed auto. And finally, the interior. Again, both of these cars have almost identical interiors. Because they are both M Sport, they both have the same silver trim down here and the same design of the seats. They both have the M Sport steering wheel, although Jack has recovered this one, which makes it feel even more chunky than it did before. But my one has a few extra features on the inside, like it has heated seats, it has electric seats and memory seats, whereas in this one they're like sort of part cloth, part leather, and they're manual. My one has automatic lights. My one also has automatic dual zone climate control. This one has the standard air conditioning. For some reason, most New Zealand new BMWs have really basic interiors. I don't really know why. And it also has no iDrive, it just has the old-fashioned like E46 era buttons radio system. So a few spec differences on the inside, but the space and layout of everything is pretty much exactly the same. So now, on to the moment you've all been waiting for. Which one's faster? No! Man, that's close. Driving the 123D. My word, it's actually pretty flippin' fast, I've got to say, But it's very odd power delivery because there's just no RPM. It's just all mid-range. The torque is impressive though, and you don't have to rev it to get it to go anywhere, which is actually arguably quite convenient, to be honest. But that said, you know, a 3-litre still makes a lot of torque already. It's kind of got all the characteristics of a larger engine, but without the noise. That's the problem. It's not actually a terrible sounding diesel engine. I mean, at idle it's pretty tractory, but makes some good turbo noises at least. And yeah, it handles just like my car. Arguably it almost just about handles better actually, because it's got less, you know, tyre roll because it's on 19s. It feels really nimble, eh? It is fun though, I've got to say, you know, put down. Oh yeah, it goes for like a 2-litre. That's quite impressive. And it's really smooth too, very smooth power delivery. It has all the characteristics of my car. It's got great steering feel, it drives really well, it rides nicely, but it handles good, and it's got unbelievable torque. The transmission's good, does exactly what you want to, rev matches and everything. And you know, on a winding back road like this, it's actually, you know, really fun. Diesels in general, in my mind, are designed to pull things. But when you put it in a little lightweight hatch, it kind of does the same job as a larger engine, and it actually drives really quite well. And you know, if you want a diesel engine for the fuel economy, this thing will do probably 5 litres per 100k, which is unbelievable. So I don't know, if you love diesels and you're kind of choosing between a whole bunch of different diesel-y cars, this is certainly a great one, man. It drives awesome, really potent engine. I'm actually extremely impressed. 130i versus 123D. It's nice to be back in the manual, and it's nice to have an engine that revs to 7,000 RPM. The diesel might be just as fast, to my shock and amazement, after we did that rolling race, and it might, you know, make more torque and so on, but you just can't beat the sound of a naturally aspirated straight six. It'd be really interesting actually to drive like a 335D and see if the 6-cylinder is, you know, more to my liking, just because it'll have arguably a better sound. But the 4-cylinder, if you heard it coming towards you, like, it would be so easy to mistake it for a Hilux. Like, it just, the sound is just not there. I guess the thing is, right, the diesel is objectively better, at least given his one is tuned up to the power of this. It'll get way better fuel economy, but go just as fast. But I don't care, you know. Me personally, I don't really like diesels, and I don't really love turbo cars, to be honest, and that's got both of those things. Whereas this, you know, you can just hammer through the gears. When you put your foot down, it does exactly what you expect. As soon as you do it, there's no turbo lag, and the power delivery it builds progressively as the revs increase, rather than just giving you a lump of torque at 2,000 RPM and then peering out at 4, you know. The lack of RPM, the sound, and the unnatural power delivery would stop me from buying one. I just wouldn't really even consider it, you know. Jack loves it because it's not a 130i, that's the main reason, is just because it's different. And I bet you he's feeling even more smug now that he's beat me in a rolling race while doing 5 litres per 100k, while I'm sitting over here using 95 instead of diesel, which costs nearly twice as much, doing 12 litres per 100k. But I'm sorry, Jack, you're not going to be converting me to the diesel lifestyle anytime soon. It's objectively great, and I was very impressed by the car, but I'm happy to stick with this, because 7,000 RPM is something your car can't do. Oh yeah, and I will look forward to seeing you again next time.